He gave his brother his life savings. The next day, his brother blocked his number and disappeared. Liam stared at the single, sterile word on his phone screen, delivered. Not read. Not the 3 bouncing dots of a reply. Just the cold, final finality of a message sent into a void. His thumb hovered over the call button, a useless instinct. He'd already tried calling. Straight to a voicemail that was suddenly, suspiciously full. He checked his banking app for the 100th time. The balance was still the same, $217.34. Yesterday, it had been over $60,000. The app showed the transfer confirmation, a digital scar marking the moment his future had been amputated. Ryan's face, grinning from a photo taken last Christmas, seemed to mock him from his contacts list. The promise had been so perfect, so Ryan. It's a sure thing, Liam. A tech startup. Ground floor. We'll both be rich in 6 months. This is not a handout, it's an investment in us. The first instinct was a hot, blinding rage. The second, a cold, creeping dread. He had to fix this. His first call was to their parents. Their mother answered, her voice already laced with a familiar, weary anxiety. Liam. Is everything okay? We have not heard from Ryan either. He explained the situation, the missing money, the blocked number. A long silence stretched across the line. Then, his father's voice, heavy and grim. Liam, son, there's something you do not know. Ryan, he's in trouble. Bad trouble. Gambling debts. The words hit Liam like a physical blow, knocking the air from his lungs. It was not a startup. It was a lie. A desperate, cruel lie. His father's voice dropped to a whisper. These are not good people he owes money to. If you go to the police, you not just reporting a theft. You putting a target on your brother's back. They could kill him, Liam. And there it was. The choice. A clean, simple act of justice, reporting the theft of his entire life's work, was now tangled with the life of his brother. He could get his money back, maybe, but it might cost Ryan everything. Or he could swallow the betrayal, swallow the loss, and protect the very person who had just destroyed him. He chose silence. He told his parents he would not go to the police, and in return, they promised to try and reach Ryan, to fix this. The days that followed bled into a gray, featureless week of waiting. Liam lived in a state of suspended animation, checking his phone every 30 seconds, jumping at every notification. Hope was a poison, a slow drip of what if that kept him from facing the brutal reality of his new poverty. The first bill to arrive was the rent. He stared at the amount, a number that had once been trivial, now an insurmountable mountain. He lied to his landlord, a forced, cheerful lie about a delayed client payment. The lie tasted like ash in his mouth. To survive, he began to dismantle his life piece by piece. His treasured collection of vintage video games went first, sold online for a fraction of its worth. Then his guitar. Then the good watch his grandfather had left him. Each sale felt like a small funeral. He stopped answering calls from friends, ashamed to admit he could not afford a beer, terrified they would ask what was wrong. His diet became a rotation of instant noodles and plain bread. The hunger was a constant, dull ache, but it was nothing compared to the gnawing emptiness of the betrayal. He was adrift. One rainy Tuesday, a crisp white envelope arrived. It was not from the landlord. It was an eviction notice. He had 30 days to vacate the premises. The lie had run its course. He sank to the floor of his now barren apartment, the letter clutched in his hand. He had lost his savings, his possessions, his trust. Now he was losing his home. Just as the despair threatened to swallow him whole, another letter, tucked behind the first, fell to the floor. It was from a different bank, a credit corporation. He opened it, his hands trembling. It was a final payment demand for a car loan. A loan he had co-signed for Ryan 3 years ago. A loan that was now, apparently, in catastrophic default. It was the car loan that broke him. Not with anger, but with a strange, cold clarity. He realized waiting was a fool's game. He had to find Ryan himself, not for the money, but for an answer. For a reason. He started digging online, a digital archaeologist sifting through the ruins of his brother's life. Ryan's social media was a ghost town, wiped clean. But people are never as careful as they think. Liam remembered a photo from years ago, a group shot at a concert. He found it on a friend's old profile. Ryan was tagged. His finger trembled as he clicked the tag, expecting a dead link. But it was not. Ryan had deactivated everything except for this one, forgotten digital thread. The profile was locked, but the profile picture was public. It was Ryan, grinning, with his arm around a blonde woman Liam had never seen before. Her name was tagged in the photo. Her profile, unlike Ryan's, was wide open. And it was a travelogue. For a moment, a wave of relief washed over Liam. He was alive. He was safe. He scrolled down, his heart pounding. There were photos from Paris, Rome, Barcelona, all posted in the last few weeks. And then he saw it. A picture of Ryan and the girl, clinking champagne glasses on a pristine white beach. The caption read, "To new beginnings. Thank you to the best men in the world for making my dream come true." The date stamp was from the day after Ryan disappeared. There was no gambling debt. There was no danger. There was only a vacation, a grand European tour funded by Liam's life savings. The lie was not just a lie, it was an elaborate piece of theater. As he stared, sickened, at the smiling, sun-kissed faces, a new comment appeared under the photo. The username was familiar. It was his mother. The comment read, "So happy to see you two so safe and full of joy. Your father and I are so proud you made the right choice." Liam felt the world tilt on its axis. They knew. They had been in on it from the beginning. The story about the loan sharks, the feigned worry, the promises to help, it was all part of the script. They had not just allowed Ryan to rob him, they had held the door open for him. He was not a son. He was the family's emergency fund, a resource to be tapped and discarded. He was utterly, completely, and irrevocably alone. Sitting on the floor of his empty apartment, surrounded by the ghosts of his sold possessions, Liam did not feel anger. He felt nothing. A profound, chilling calm settled over him. For his entire life, he had been the responsible one, the good son, the safety net. He now saw that this was not a role he had chosen, it was a cage they had built for him. The choice in the beginning was never about saving his brother's life. It was a final test to see if he would put the family's narrative above his own survival. He had failed the test, and in doing so, he had finally found his freedom. His phone buzzed. It was a call from a private number, the debt collection agency for the co-signed car loan. He had been ignoring their calls for weeks. This time, he answered. The agent on the other end was aggressive, demanding payment. Liam let him finish. Then, in a voice devoid of emotion, he said, I understand I am liable for the debt. However, I believe you have been trying to locate the primary borrower, Ryan Miller. I can help with that. He forwarded the agent the link to the girlfriend's public profile, with its geotagged photos of Ryan across Europe. He forwarded the screenshots of his mother's comments, proving the family was aware of his location. He provided the bank statement showing the $60,000 transfer. He was not a victim reporting a crime, he was a co-signer providing helpful information to a creditor about a debtor who had recently come into a large sum of money and was currently fleeing the country. He hung up. He did not need to know what would happen next. He knew that the cold, impersonal machinery of international debt collection was far more relentless than a brother's anger. Ryan's European paradise was about to become a very small, very expensive cage, with no family to bail him out. Liam stood up, walked over to his phone, and opened his contacts. He found the picture of him and Ryan at Christmas. He looked at his own smiling face, the face of a man who did not yet know he was a ghost. He pressed delete. The screen went blank, a dark mirror reflecting his own tired, empty, and finally, liberated face. He had given his brother his life savings. In return, his brother had given him back his life.